Hey guys, welcome to yet another Hearthstone King of the Hill. I Hearth You King of the Hill, rather. I am Doa, that's Artosis, and we are back to see if Thijs can win 3 in a row on the King of the Hill, which is something that actually only 3 other people have done before him. So
That's
if he
right,
can do it, that'd be pretty amazing.
If he wins here this week, he joins Reels as one of the only players with so many wins. Of course, Alchemix and Savitz both got 4 wins each.
Yep.
And Reels has had 3. So Thijs right now, he's getting close to that legendary status in King of the Hill.
Yeah, that's right. And he's had a good run of it so far. I think he's played a lot of cool decks. He's made a lot of really good moves in his games. He's playing against Spo today, who's a top EU player, and we'll see what he can do. He's certainly starting out with an interesting deck. We've actually got Mage coming in, something that we hardly ever see in Hearthstone right now.
Yeah, I kind of like it though. You know, this is like a very controlling mage build. You know, I'm sure all of us have tried decks very similar to this. I remember streaming one like it for a bit. You know, I don't think it's top tier. I don't think anyone's going to say that it's top tier, but look at it. It looks fun. It's definitely got a lot of powerful spells in it as well.
It is, and it's something that Thijs definitely won't be expecting, so there'll be a little bit of a surprise edge too. I mean, usually when you see Mage these days, it's kind of the aggro, Frostbolt, Ice Lance combo sort of DPS Mage, but this is much slower. It is much more controlling, like you're saying. We've got Cairn Bloodhoof in there, and the very interesting double Flame Strike, which is something that I'm sure Thijs would never, ever expect.
No, certainly not. And of course, that's going to be good against a deck like Shaman, which is
really
going to have a lot of minions out on the board. And if you look at some of this other stuff, right, like the fact that he has quite a bit of card draw in there, he has some versatility with his hero power, and Water Elemental, probably the best 4-drop in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, cards with like Karn and Sylvanas and Rag and Black Knight. It's a powerful set of cards in this deck, so who knows?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people have been starting with Shaman in the King of the Hill lately, and, you know, in a lot of tournaments in general, people lead with Shaman. So I think this is an interesting response to that, and we'll see if it works. It certainly could. Like you said, I mean, I don't think he's going to 4-0 with this or anything like that. It's not going to be like a top deck. It's no Miracle Rogue, but it is solid. It is interesting, and I just can't wait to get into the games and see if it can take out the Control Shaman deck from Thijs.
Yeah, this is very similar to what he played before, and it definitely has some OTK potential there with the Wind Fury and the Flame Tongues and the Rock Biters and whatnot, but a controlling Shaman indeed. It's a strong deck.
There's always a lot of burst kind of hidden in that control shell of the Shaman, so I think I'm ready. How about you?
I am ready. Let's get into this.
All right, game number 1, let's do it. Alright guys, here we are, game 1 between Spo and Thijs, our current reigning King of the Hill champion. Gonna be some Shaman versus Mage action, and let's see, what is Spo gonna keep? I guess you definitely want to get rid of Defender and Cairn. I mean, there's no reason to hold on to that. Keeps the Loot Hoarder. Alright, he's got some cheap minions, so we'll see how it goes.
A pretty solid hand there from Spo, a lot of cheap stuff going on. And then, of course, Thijs, you know, he has some removal, he has a Defender for a little bit later on, and some Wolves to slow things down in the early game. So it seems like both of them are fine on that opening hand, but I do prefer Spo's a little bit.
I think so. I think we're going to see a pretty passive early game overall. We'll see the Loot Hoarder come down from Spo, of course, this turn, and then we'll kind of see what Thijs wants to do to deal with it.
Well,
double Rockbiter in his hand already.
Yeah, not really exactly what you want to see. Does he just totem here? The thing is, the totem just dies no matter what.
Right, exactly. I mean, if he gets 1-1, yeah, he's able to trade with the Loot Hoarder, but he's going to coin, into the Wolf. So it's going to be a really manaless turn 3, but he does have something out that Spo really is going to have a tough time dealing with.
This actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because he has the double Lightning Bolt, double Rockbiter, so not a big deal. Like, he is going to be able to do something on turn 3.
Right. Yeah, he's got all the 1-mana cards, and he doesn't really have anything else to play anyway, so...
Yeah. For Spo, it's like, do you use your hero power plus attack with that Loot Hoarder? Do you use a Frostbolt? Do you drop a Harvest Golem? You know, no perfect play here, but since you can draw with the Loot Hoarder, that's pretty nice. Gonna go ahead and do that first.
Yeah, he's gonna draw to see what he gets. Second Frostbolt, so I kind of feel like you use your hero power to finish off that 2-1. You never know when they're gonna get a healing totem the next turn. You don't want to risk that. Oh, but I guess you do if you're Spo. He's gonna play the Harvest Golem. Just wants to get some sort of board presence out.
Well,
and I guess there would be no totem, obviously, with the mana curve.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here, do you use, for instance, a Rock Biter or a Lightning Bolt, and then maybe use your 2-1 Wolf that you figure is going to die next turn no matter what to take out this guy?
Yeah, I think maybe you might as well. I mean, again, if you look at his coming turns, there's really not anything he can play that much, so might as well get rid of the Golem.
Yeah, you don't want your Wolf to just die completely for free, right?
Yeah, and I like using the Rock Biter instead. I mean,
okay. Oh, you might use this this 2/3, which I guess is okay, but like, thing is, these both will get pinged possibly over the next 2 turns. So
yeah, well, they definitely would, but it's not like he wouldn't lose one anyway, and he probably isn't going to lose both, but...
And, well, you know, with Frostbolt, like, even if he attacked with one, that it would die anyways coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so we're going to see the Acolyte of Pain. That is going to be about it for Spo this turn. Now, on to Thijs. I feel like... Oh, Earthshock
I think Earthshock
pretty nice.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Earthshock can use one of the pieces of your taunt or your taunts there. I mean, because you're getting a lot of value out of this Feral Spirits, even though you're finally going to lose one of the tokens.
What?
Oh, but there's a healing totem.
Oh my god. Yeah,
now you just have to...
Well, now you definitely just skip it and, like, let him attack into you if he really wants, but...
Oh, he's got a lightning bolt. Alright.
Yeah, he just wants to get rid of that. I think it's because the healing totem came out that he's so gung-ho about getting rid of that guy.
Well, yeah, because now Spo can't ping either one of those tokens.
Yeah,
so.
and Thijs is actually in a great spot, especially with this Defender in hand and a Fire Elemental coming up. Like, everything's looking really solid for him at the moment.
And Spo forced to use a Frostbolt on one of those Feral Spirits. That does not feel good.
No, certainly not.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This is... I mean, you could play a Defender here. You could go ahead and use an Axe or something, but I really like this play right here because you get to heal up. It's going to go out of that ping range because of the healing totem.
That healing totem is changing this game so drastically.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. I mean, do you even consider frostbolting the totem at something like that at this point? I mean, it's caused such a huge problem. It's not good. All right, Sylvanas.
Think, I think Sylvanas is solid. Like, even if he hexes you, you know what? At least you have that Flame Strike next turn.
Yeah.
And that's good. So here, you know, there's definitely some hard decisions to be made.
Yeah.
How do you end up dealing with this? Do you just skip her? I could see you just skipping her, you know?
Well, one of the things you can do, yeah, is just kind of flood the board with stuff and just go for face and be like, all right, you figure it out, you know? And that's an okay way to do it. I'd be hesitant leaving the Argent Commander out there with Divine Shield. Obviously, that would be a pretty terrifying steal.
It would be, but how does he steal? Like, you can't aim the steal very well, so, like...
Yeah.
And the thing is, with the Flame Strike in hand, you always... Whenever you play against a mage deck like this, you're like, well, there has to be at least a Flame Strike in there, so...
Okay, yeah, so he does go for face. Alright, makes sense.
I think it's definitely the right call, and the thing is, with the Flame Strike, like, you're sure he can get rid of that Argent, but... Then he's going to have this 1 health Sylvanas that's going to be all on the board. It's not very good.
With no minions for your opponent, it's kind of dangerous to leave a 1 health Sylvanas out there. She's just going to die and not do anything for you. So.
And at 13 health, like, you've got to clear, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I would say probably...
Well, Thijs, 13 health. Let's see. He may have lethal next turn. Without doing any of the math, just
yeah,
when he's got his hand
9 that... Well, no, I guess
you
with
have
only
to
7
flame
mana,
strike.
he doesn't play.
Yeah. Okay, so he does have to Flame Strike, and again, with 13 health, the chance of them having lethal is high.
Look at this. Lightning Bolt into a Fire Elemental. It just, like, I cannot see Spo winning this one.
It's going to be pretty tough.
No, Thijs has just had exactly what he's needed to deal with these situations. And the thing is, his opening hand wasn't even really that exciting, but he played it extremely well. And as we can see, it's really paying off. look at how many cards he has in hand, and then look at the life totals as well. It's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, I think he's just considering. He's like, do I use the Axe or do I use the Lightning Bolt here?
He's got plenty of health. I kind of like using the Axe just because you don't really need to worry about it, and then you don't get, you don't get overloaded. Yeah,
not getting overloaded is important to go up to 8 mana, especially when you look at his hand, right? He's got the Fire Elemental, he has the possibility of Flame Tongue, and that's 11 damage. He's basically set up like a pretty easy lethal for next turn.
Right. Alright, so do you Fireball Water Elemental? Do you just Frostbolt Water Elemental?
Well, Fireball,
heal?
I would say.
I think so too, yeah. You want to get rid of it, you don't just want to stop it for a turn.
Maybe like a Fireball plus your Water Elemental?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're...
You gotta get something out here.
I think there's not a lot of damage, or danger rather, of lethal. Because you don't see Leroy in many Shaman decks. He generally doesn't work too well in Shaman. So playing the Water Elemental rather than healing is fine. Yeah.
And at 8 mana, like Alec here, you can't quite buff up.
Yeah.
If that's in your deck, of course.
Yep. So it's a safe play.
I think here, I feel like a Fire Elemental plus Lightning Bolt might be okay, even though like that's a lot of missed damage to the face. Like Water Elementals are pretty crazy. They can be scary to deal with.
Yeah, I think Water Elemental is generally kind of a must-kill situation.
Let's see what he wants to do.
Also has that Unbound.
Yeah,
doesn't really fit in anything this turn though.
No, I mean he could do it plus a Lightning Bolt, but like
it
what does that do for him?
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't kill the Water Elemental. So
yeah, I guess it brings it into range that if it were to attack into the Elemental, it dies. But I don't see the real point there. It seems like the Fire Elemental is a better play overall.
I do like that. Yeah, and the Lightning Bolt. Got to get rid of it.
Yeah,
and it does take away your chances of lethal next turn, but you wouldn't have that anyway because you know the Fire Elemental is going to be dealt with if you leave the Water Elemental alive.
I think his Spo is on his back foot now for the rest of the game just because of how low he is on health.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and he's forced to just Frostbolt that Fire Elemental.
Yeah, but you know what? It's starting to work out a bit better, and he has Flame Strike in hand. He just played his Karn that's going to be hard to get rid of unless Tice gets Hex out.
Yeah,
which he doesn't.
Defender of Argus, okay. So let's see.
Maybe Totem Defender?
Yeah, maybe Totem. Could also Unbound Defender as well for just a little bit more kind of beefiness out of the Defender of Argus.
That is true, but he's like a 3/5, and that's... Yeah, I mean...
It's out of Flame Strike range. I mean, that's
Flame
what
Strike Ping would clear everything.
Well, honestly, Tice is not thinking about Flame Strike right now, because he already saw one, so he's
and
not...
And 2 cards in hand, yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to be considering Flame Strike here, which could be dangerous, but we'll see. Because I've got a feeling that Flame Strike's going to be coming out. It's actually such a nice turn. Flame Strike, Earthen Ring Farseer, get a little bit of healing and clear the board. That's a pretty good turn for Spo coming out.
Since this Fire Elemental's frozen, like, you know, he's not going to take any more damage. He's going to have like a very strong board overall.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is the best he can do. And he doesn't know it, but like this is going to save him from the Flame Strike. Or save, you know, he's going to have a 1 health Unbound. Well, it's just going to die to Karn anyway, so never mind.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be Flame Strike Ping and, like, just attack for 4, and then he has a Polymorph and Earth Ring. Like, this is funny, because it looked like Tice was going to be able to just kill Spo right off. Oh, he's actually going to attack right in. He wants the extra minion on board, which is actually fine considering there's only 1 card in hand of Tice.
Yeah, I mean, there's no clean way, really, in Shaman to deal with the Cairn Bloodhoof at this point. I mean, I guess you can go Spell Power into that. Never mind. All right, well, if you get a Lucky Totem, that helps.
Well, you know, there's still going to be a 4/5 out here, and Tice can't even play this other guy right now. So, Spo actually coming back strong with this deck, but now we're kind of in top deck wars.
Yeah, pretty much. And the low health of Spo is going to make things a little bit more dangerous, and there's a Black Knight right away. Just wants to get that out there.
Well, time to deal with some totems, get your hero power on. Tice needs something big, and he needs it fast.
He does, and Earth Shock is not that.
It is not that at all. It is like a worthless draw at this point.
Healing Totem.
I don't think it even matters what totems he's drawing right now, you know?
Not really. I mean, the only thing that matters is if a totem lives, because then he can maybe get something done with Flame Tongue.
And look at this, man. I mean, Spo is just going to take this, isn't he?
Yeah, I think there's very little that Tice can do to win this game. And Mana Tide, I mean, I guess you got to play that.
I guess you got to go 3 totems. That's about all you got going on for yourself.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah, what is there?
Okay. Just gonna play that one.
Safe. All right. Looking for maybe some bursts out of Flame Tongue, but does he have any charge besides Alakir in this deck?
Yeah, he plays
it's just Alakir,
1 Argent Commander.
Oh, okay, 1 Argent Commander. Oh, but it's already been played.
Doesn't do anything. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's already been out too.
Yeah.
I think he's just dead.
Yeah, I think he's just dead. Like, the Hex is too little too late at this point.
And Spo playing it really safe, of course. Getting rid of everything on the board, not giving Tice any chance to get any sort of burst combo going. Azure Drake, not gonna really
I don't know what you're
help.
looking for with him, but we'll cast it.
You can, alright, yeah, it's not gonna do it, no taunting. He's gonna Hex something, I guess?
That's lethal on the board if he doesn't, so
yep, you gotta
Hex
something,
to.
yeah.
That's for sure.
And he needs his Taunt Totem. Needs
it.
Hey, he got it,
there
okay.
he goes.
He got the Taunt Totem. It can still be Polymorph, though.
Polymorph the Taunt
does he have
Totem?
enough damage? He's got
it's not quite enough to kill him.
Yeah, 11
12
damage in his hand, 12 with the hero power. Might as well play the Mana Worm.
Yeah.
Why not? And I guess you don't really use the Polymorph this turn. You can clear it with a minion. You don't have it lethal anyway, so... I guess you
he wants
Polymorph
to do it,
for.
get some damage in, which is fine. And, you know, this is... I can't even imagine a card that Tice could draw to take this game back. This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, Spo's got him kind of locked down. But I mean, this is what he wanted out of this Mage versus Shaman matchup. You know, you can, if you get to this point, you can kind of out-beefy them, and oh boy.
Totem Lightning Storm.
I think you have to go for the Totem, yeah.
And the Spell Power. Imagine if he did that and then came back and won.
Yeah, if he gets the Spell Power Totem, he could clear the board. I guess even if he doesn't,
I want to see him get Spell Power.
He could clear it.
Well, if he tries for the Spell Power, he can't. Like, clear it if it doesn't high roll on two of them. So, like...
Oh, do you just do it and then Earth Shock? That's the question, yeah. Save that.
Well,
oh, okay, didn't get it. He has to... It's a pretty high roll here.
That doesn't matter. High roll doesn't do it.
Yeah, it doesn't,
He just dies. So,
okay.
Almost a good try there by Thijs, but a very strong comeback from Spo. Wasn't really expecting that when he got so low with almost no cards left in hand.
He gets a Fireball anyway. Alright, there we go, yep. Top deck. Alright, GG, and Spo takes game 1. Thijs' spot as the King of the Hill champion is in jeopardy. Alright guys, time to look at going into game number 2 for Thijs versus Spo, Control Warrior versus Mage it looks like. And, you know, I feel like Control Warrior is really good against aggro Mage, but against this Mage, the slower, more control Mage, it might be a little bit more difficult. I still want to favor Warrior, but there's a lot of stuff in this version of Thijs' Control Warrior that's not going to be that helpful, like Harrison Jones.
Sure,
not going to be quite as good.
Yeah, only one target for BGH and stuff, but
yeah.
You know, I think I have to agree that I favor the Control Warrior over the Mage just because it's a better deck overall. And in fact, you know, I think that Brawl is really going to come into play here because a Control Mage has to kind of commit minions to the board. But
yeah,
there's some really good stuff in here for Spo, right? Like he's got the Polymorph, he's got the Big Game Hunter.
Water Elementals can be tough to deal with.
Oh, certainly. They have a lot of health, which can be a pain. And, you know, if you start freezing the Control Warrior, then something like Gorehowl can't get the card advantage you're used to.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, Sylvanas and Karn are just, like, really solid cards against any control deck.
This is going to be a really interesting game. And actually, all these games are really interesting because you just don't see this kind of Mage played that often anymore. So, Thijs is going to have to, you know, think extra carefully about what he's going to use. And honestly, like, he gained some information about this deck last game, but I think the very crucial thing is the double Flame Strike he knows about now, but there's still some mystery in this Mage deck for him to kind of deal with, too.
He doesn't know about Rag, he doesn't know how many Polymorphs are in there.
Yep.
And, well, you know, he doesn't know that there's a BGH, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything, I think he can guess on a decent amount of it, at least, but...
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I think that this definitely could go either way, but again, have to side with Control Warrior a bit.
It's such a solid deck, and even this version that's not optimal, it's going to be still pretty good. So we'll see if Thijs can tie it up, or if Spo will take a 2-game lead. Let's get in the game. And here we go, guys. Game number 2, Spo versus Thijs. And this crazy Mage deck from Spo. A threat to the Control Warrior of Thijs, but we'll see what he does. It's a pretty decent opening hand. I feel like one thing when you're playing against Mage, you always have to be a little bit afraid of is that turn 1 Mana Worm. I mean, if they get that, that's like, it's the worst feeling in the world. You're like, oh, this thing is such a pain to get rid of. Yeah, you have to, like, coin out an axe or something, and yeah, it's annoying.
He has that axe.
And he has the coin. And
I guess it's a totally fine starting hand for Thijs.
And
actually for Spo as well, double Harvest Golem, that's always a pain in the ass to get rid of.
Yep, exactly.
So, pretty solid for both these guys. We'll have to see how it goes.
That's right.
Now,
see how it Spos.
Yeah, see how it Spos. Oh my god.
That's how I'm going to retire.
Bye-bye. Well, you know what? We got Polymorph and an Alex Straws in hand for these guys, so has some of their late game potential as well.
All right.
Some of that could come into play.
Yeah, and it looks like...
Is he really going to coin out Acolyte?
Interesting. Wow, okay. And I mean, I suppose this does bring a Frostbolt out of the Mage early on in a lot of cases, which is...
Does he Frostbolt here?
You know, it's tough to say, because I feel like if you don't, you leave an opportunity for Cruel Taskmaster to come out and do damage to it, like make you take more damage.
On you and yeah.
Exactly. So I think you kind of are more obligated to Frostbolt than not Frostbolt, but if you do that, then you suddenly have to worry about a lot of other stuff, like Armor Smith, like Kor'kron Elite. So it's an uncomfortable spot, and he's just going to actually opt for the Harvest Golem.
Well,
Alright.
he's in trouble, man, because Fiery Warax and then attack with your Acolyte in, you clear it, and you gain a card while only losing half a card and some health. It's like,
see, this is why I feel like it's dirty, but you have to use a Frostbolt, because the alternative is too many dangerous scenarios.
I hate the thought of the Frostbolt, but you're right. That was rough. That's like Theis has to be feeling fantastic right now.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I've actually played hundreds of Control Warrior games this month, and coining out that Acolyte or just getting out the Acolyte early on Mage is so good.
Well, it looks like he's thinking about playing his Amani Berserker, but of course that's something that the Axe will literally just eat.
Yeah, I mean, do you just want to use that to get rid of an Axe charge? Probably not, you know, so... Alright.
I don't think you have, like, a whole lot of choices there. Oh, wait a minute, he's just going to Frostbolt through the face.
Yeah, alright.
Oh, I like that, okay.
Yeah, a bit of a creative
play. I don't know
play.
why I didn't think of that, but that's really good, okay.
That's kind of neat. Bit of a creative play there.
Yeah.
And not a whole lot that Theis can really do about that. Yeah, he can't armor up and shield slam. He doesn't have enough armor. Oh, he does have a shield block though. So
yeah, he can go.
He could, but you really want to save those shield block, shield slams for the water elementals. Those are kind of your key to take those out easily in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it might be. The thing is, how do you get rid of this Amani? Because he'll definitely make it. I would say he's definitely going to make it a 5/2 the next turn.
Yeah, because he's got enough mana.
That could be a little bit dangerous to deal with, right?
Yeah, because you would have enough mana to play 3-drop and do it too.
You know what he could do? Because he does have the Cruel Taskmaster, he can just skip it, just like leave it there, and then run into it the next turn. Because if he runs into it the next turn, if he pinged it himself, then he just kills it off easily. Because he can attack into it with the 1/1 and use the Cruel.
Yeah, you can. Okay, and there's a double Armor Smith, and he actually didn't even attack with his. He didn't attack with his Acolyte.
No, that's a terrible.
He totally forgot to attack. Whoops.
Missing damage, Theis.
Yeah, that's 1 damage, man. That's so important.
I think he was maybe too heavily there, just thinking about.
Yeah.
He's
Everybody
like, okay,
does
how do I deal with this perfectly?
We'll pretend we didn't see that.
Yeah. It never happened.
What missed attack? I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah.
All right, so a little bit of a rough situation, but that's okay.
All right, Azure Drake, a pretty normal play there. He decides to not go ahead and do it because he can just activate it off of the Acolyte. 2 armor, though, over to Theis.
Oh, boy.
Double Armor Smith is so dirty.
Between Cruel Taskmaster, Whirlwind, and your Axe, you are cleaning everything this turn.
Yes, you are.
Holy crap.
Oh, wow.
Yep. The thing is, do you play Cruel Taskmaster before or after? I would say probably after.
Yeah, here's the real question. Do you just Whirlwind and then attack into the dragon with your axe and then attack into the Amani with one of your Armor Smiths?
Yeah, you definitely could do that. Like, do you really need both of these Armor Smiths? And maybe saving the Cruel Taskmaster is better for your Grill Match later on.
It keeps more cards in your hand, which I like.
I gotta agree with you there. And of course, you're gonna attack this guy first to get your armor up higher.
Yep, you're gonna gain so much armor from this. Yeah, here we go. Wow.
So this is a really strong play here by Theis.
Yep.
And okay, he is gonna actually play the Cruel Taskmaster, choosing to get a little bit more out there.
You know,
this makes something like a Flame Strike a lot weaker.
Yeah, and you might as well keep that double Armor Smith out for as long as possible, too.
Because, like, even if your opponent does something like, let's say, a Flame Strike later on, you're gaining 2 armor per minion by keeping one of them out. So
exactly.
It's like, you can eventually gain so much life that it's hard for the Mage deck to deal with it.
Well, that is the big strength that Warrior has against Mage, is that a lot of times Mages can either choose to use their direct damage as direct damage to you or to your minions, but with Warrior, you can soak up any direct damage they do to you, and then, if they don't quite get the right draws, you just overwhelm them in the late game. So it's tough. I think Mage versus Warrior is a tough matchup in general.
Yeah.
I think this Mage fares a little bit better, but, yeah. Well, Mage versus pretty much anything these days is kind of a tough matchup for Mage, but, yeah.
For here, the Harvest Golem represents kind of a challenge.
A little bit.
How do you deal with that correctly?
A little bit.
You could Kor'kron into it and then kill it with an Armor Smith, and then, like, the thing is the Acolyte sits there, and what do you do against the Acolyte? Do you let him draw 2 cards off of it? I think you're probably going to have to. Okay, well, never mind.
I think you get rid of it with the Kor'kron. I think that is good. You're not worried about Blizzard or anything like that.
Oh, I see. Okay, so, look, he's just going to sack this guy and then kill it with double Armor Smith. Look how much armor he's gaining. It's actually craziness.
He's gotten so much value out of these Armor Smiths, man.
Double Armor Smith for the win.
He's going to be up to 16 armor after this turn, I think. Yeah, there we go.
That's a lot of armor, I have to say.
It is, yeah. I mean, being at 38 effective health is not too bad going into turn 7.
I'd love to see a Flame Strike here, Doa.
Yeah, I mean, Flame Strike is
6
kind of...
more armor. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
there we go. Ping it. And give
finally
your
gonna
opponent...
be dealing with that.
Yeah. Oh, it's so messy.
Well, you know, this is a tough situation for
41 effective health now.
Doesn't really have that many cards in hand and whatnot, and I think his shield slams are going to do a good job against anything that comes out.
I think so too. I mean, he's saving it for the water elementals. I mean, that's really where they give you a lot of benefit. He may want to use one here, though, actually. I'd say you play the Azure Drake and then see what you get first, but...
I think the Azure Drake is really strong, because, like, the best he can do probably is pinging his own guy and trading it with the Drake, and still you're coming out on top of that. You gain another armor, and the Azure already drew you a card.
That's a good point, yeah.
And that's 4 mana spread out over 2 turns to get rid of that Drake.
21 armor for Thijs. Wow.
Jeez.
He's got so much armor.
Health.
He's got so much armor that armor can legally drink in most states in the U.S., man.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That armor is ready to kick back a cold one.
Yeah, well, I don't even have a response. That was so brilliant.
Well, it's good to know, I guess.
Dude, I think here, yeah, you play your water elemental, you ping your guy, and you kill the Azure. You can't leave the Azure out, right? Like,
well, you got to try to get some sort of board control.
Yeah.
And then
it's
you're
a tough
like,
situation.
You're like, well, maybe I can defend her next turn. I don't know.
Dude, on turn 8, like, do you shield slam anything that comes out? Like,
maybe.
I could see Rag just dropping too, but the thing is, I wouldn't want Rag to hit their face. I'd want to play Rag after Alexstrasza.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
He's at such high health; it's cool to do no damage until you Alexstrasza him.
Yep. I mean, you play Alexstrasza, then they polymorph it, then you play Ragnaros, and they're like, oh crap. That's when you really kind of, you know, seal the deal against shot in a lot of cases. And all right, he's got a shield slam for the water elemental if he wants to.
I think you play a Rag here.
I think I think in this case now you actually do play Rag, because whatever it hits, unless
66% to kill something is pretty good. But okay, it looks like he wants to draw into maybe some more removal, and he has plenty in the deck where. Well, I mean,
if he had one more mana, that would be perfect.
I don't want to see a brawl here. Yeah.
Yeah, if he had one more mana, I think it would be worth it, but not this time.
Against a mage, you got to hold on to the brawl because they're always going to get like to kill you. They actually have to get 3-4 minions out. I feel like they're not going to kill you with one like a warrior. Oh, right. 28 damage.
28 damage shield slam.
That's so funny.
Terrifying. Wow.
Oh, I wish he had armored up beforehand.
Patch notes: shield slam can now hit players.
All
right, well, GG.
Wouldn't that be the funniest thing ever?
Oh, hope it never ever happens.
Just mulligan into your armor smiths and whirlwinds and shield blocks and just kill your opponent.
OTK Warrior's back, man.
Yeah. Right. Except it looks exactly like Control Warrior.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to change anything. I didn't say you
take out like Belmosh and you
just
take out. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. So, well, I guess that was a good turn for him.
Okay.
Well, that Gorhal is going to gain the most value anything ever gained.
Certainly is, yeah.
Like, this is actually going to go, like, probably, like, 4 for 1 as far as card advantage goes.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, now, especially with one water elemental down, you're just going to dominate the rest of the game with Gorhal.
Yeah, he can only be frozen, like, from a water elemental, which as soon as it goes out, obviously he'll attack if possible.
And this is going to give you the room to play Alexstrasza next turn as well, too, because you know you can handle a minion no matter what it is. You can play Alexstrasza. Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad.
Do you go Mana Worm and then just Defender the Mana Worm to hit for another 5?
Maybe. Like, maybe you have to.
It's Desperate Times or something like that. Like.
Yeah. It's.
I think it's something like a Whirlwind or a Taskmaster or a Slam or anything like that actually clears out this 5-1. So he might just give it to both.
Maybe. I feel like you should just give it to both. If you're going to give it to anyone, you got to give it to both. And he's not going to, though. Okay.
I'm not too surprised just because, like.
Really?
The thing is, eventually, we'll probably see an attack on this, but
it just, I don't know, it prevents the Whirlwind kill.
Yeah, he's trying to get that little bit of extra. But look at the size of Thijs' hand. Like, this game is actually just so over.
Yeah.
There's no way, man.
Yeah, I would say so.
Alexstrasza, attack the worm, execute, and then it's like a 2-3 against like with 15 health and 2 cards in hand against an 8/8.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many options.
That's definitely what you do.
He could brawl. Brawl is sick here as well.
I think
brawl and attack whatever's left. Like.
I really do like the Alexstrasza too.
Yeah. Well, it's just so strong.
There we go. All right. Yeah, makes sense. You want to get that Alexstrasza out as soon as you possibly can.
Oh, 12 damage right there.
I know, right?
Alexstrasza is so crazy in Control Warrior.
Yep.
Well, you know what? At least Spo has the big game hunter, but other than that, not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, he can deal with this, but again, you know, that's why you do Alex Strasser before the Ragnaros, because then they have a hard time dealing with Ragnaros. He's got the polymorph this time, but generally you feel pretty good about the situation.
I would say so.
Yeah.
You know, if he draws something that can proc his Grommash, he wins. No,
yeah, that is true.
Doesn't get it, but you know what? He can attack one of these guys and play the Rag, and that's just totally fine. Because like all he needs to do basically is hit the face once more, and then he's going to kill him.
Yeah, you've certainly got a lot of room now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it feels rather anticlimactic right now, I have to say.
It does. We're kind of...
Spo had a crazy comeback last game. Not going to happen this game, that's for sure.
I feel like we are kind of waiting for the inevitable this time around. I mean, against Shaman, you always have a chance, but against this situation with Control Warrior, where your opponent still has a 35 effective health...
The thing is, most of his low early game cards have already been used. Like, you know there's not Armor Smiths sitting in his hand that are worthless, right?
Yeah. Seen a Fireball come out already, I believe, as well.
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
Well, looks like he's going to take out one of these guys. I would definitely go with that one.
Yeah.
Because, like, if he has a Fireball in hand, he could deal with the Rag, theoretically, if you leave that one out.
Right. Oh, and there's 8 damage, so...
Death next turn.
Yep, that's right. Even with an unactivated Grommash, I mean, you can just do Kor'kron Elite at that point. No need to send the famous Orc. You can just send a regular Orc. Yeah. The Peasant can do 4 damage.
Polymorph playing out his little dude.
Yep.
Pinging this guy as well. It doesn't matter though because he is dead.
Yep.
And he knows it. Just saying,
well played
there. And he really expects to die this
well
next turn.
played. And there we go. Grommash, why not? Style points. And that is that. And Thijs brings it back and ties up the series. This one's still up for grabs, guys. Let's move on to Game 3. Alright guys, time to get ready for game number 3, Thijs versus Spo, and it's Control Warrior versus Shaman. Like I can't make sentences suddenly in this intro. Like my ability to speak English is just gone.
That's okay. You're in shock and awe at the power of these decks.
I am pretty much.
It's not your fault though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is like a pretty standard Shaman deck overall. Nothing too fancy here. I really like it. You know, it is playing the Argent Squires and the Double Flame Tongue, so no surprise there to see those two paired up together. And then the Wind Fury with Argents and Fire Elementals. So, you know, if you leave anything on the board, you might just die. Yeah,
I mean, you always have to worry about the burst here, and finally Harrison Jones does have a job this game. He didn't really have much to do against Mage, but that's okay, because he never really was seen, too.
Yeah, and you know, generally speaking, Shaman has done well against Warrior over the, I would say, years, but Hearthstone has been out only not even a year. But
when you're playing Warrior versus Shaman, it feels like years sometimes. That's,
but you know, this new improved version of Control Warrior actually does pretty well against it. You know, you have the Whirlwind with Spell Power with Azure.
Yeah,
clears the board pretty well. You've got the Brawl, and then you've got Barongeddon, which is the ultimate. Like, just wipe totems off the board.
Well, if they get Feral Spirits out and a bunch of stuff, you need that Barongeddon plus Whirlwind to handle the 3 health on things. So, yeah, I mean, Warrior can deal with it. It requires some pretty specific card combos, but...
I think it's a good matchup overall for both sides. Like, I think that this could definitely go either way.
This one's a toss-up, yeah. This one's a pretty even, probably the most even in terms of matchups we've seen yet in the series.
Yeah, if you had to give an edge to one of these two decks going up against the other one, which would you go with?
You know, after playing tons and tons of Control Warrior lately, I feel like I do have to give the edge to Shaman. I think Control Warrior, especially this version, can handle Shaman, but it requires, again, you know, pretty specific card combos, and anytime you need to rely on having 2 cards together, or you're kind of in big trouble, you kind of got to give the deck that causes those situations the edge. So I like Shaman a little bit better. It's hard to bet against the current reigning King of the Hill champion, but I got to go a little bit with Shaman on this one. But I think it's so even, it's hard to call.
Yeah, I think it is. You're pretty much spot on with that. But I would side just slightly with Spo here. But
all right,
I guess we'll just have to see in this next game.
We're in agreement. We'll see if we're right or not. Time to go into game number 3, guys. Alright guys, game 3 time. Control Warrior versus Shaman. Thijs versus Spo. Thijs trying to take the lead and get closer to reclaiming his King of the Hill champion spot. But Spo certainly looks like a worthy opponent so far. And I'm curious to see how this Shaman game is going to go.
Indeed. He does get to start with an Axe, Kor'kron, Azure, Shield Block. not the best opening hand, but at least
Yeah.
he's got that axe.
The axe is the most important part there, but you don't want to really use it on totems early on. That is always one of the most annoying things to see coming out against Warrior turn 1 as an Argent Squire, because there's just no good way to get rid of it.
Yeah, I guess, you know, the slam isn't bad just because you get to draw and then it's
cycle,
not as
you know.
strong, so.
Yeah. You can use the axe on it next turn, I guess.
Yeah, going into Spo's turn, does he coin out this Unbound? That is
I
a
think
very
you do.
popular move.
Yeah. I think you do, because your opponent didn't armor up. There's really no chance for them to get any sort of shield slam action going with it. So yeah, I think that's a perfect opportunity to get the Unbound Elemental out.
And as far as Theis' turn goes, I don't really care for any of the plays that much. Like, do you actually axe a 1/1 Argent Commander?
I think maybe you consider the Cruel Taskmaster here, because it gets something out on the board. It makes them use something, right? And then next turn you know you have the Shield Block, Shield Slam to get rid of the Elemental.
Or, well, if they run the Elemental into the Cruel, which I think you probably would, then at least you can axe the Elemental, and that's pretty good.
Whenever you play a creature like that, though, you have to kind of worry about them maybe just Lightning Bolting it just to buff the Elemental a little bit more, too.
That's true, but he does have that Shield Block, Shield Slam.
Right, exactly, which is another reason why I think you should play the Taskmaster, because it makes him do that, and then you can use your combo and take him out.
Well, he has the Stormforged axe, so actually that is the right thing to do here. And that makes it kind of annoying.
It's a similar situation to what we talked about, though, where now you can still Shield Block, Shield Slam, and you're going to gain that 5 armor, you're going to draw a card, so this is still going to be a good turn for Theis.
For sure, this is the only move he can really do here. You can't play your Kor'kron, the axe does nothing. But the Shield Slam pretty strong, and now he has a Whirlwind, a Drake, and a Brawl, and then also a Kor'kron and an axe. He has so much removal. This hand, like, this is a pretty killer hand for this late in the game
this
against a Shaman.
Especially against Shaman, yeah. This is a great, great hand. I mean, now if you see Feral Spirits, no big deal, because you've got the axe. You know, that's a 1-for-1 trade. The 2 charges from the axe for the 2 wolves. You've got all this stuff at the Azure Drake. Gets to draw, another Shield Slam. Not too bad.
Alright, so things
Can be
looking pretty good for him right now.
Alright, so what do you do if you're Spo here?
Well, you know, you could do something like the Flame Tongue Totem to help get rid of this with your axe.
I wouldn't mind seeing that, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad move.
Okay, yeah. And then you can just get rid of the axe,
I'm just wondering about toteming before.
I
feel like
agree.
Taunt Totem's best totem, so you might give yourself a slightly better chance of getting the Taunt Totem again.
I agree. I think it's a really tiny thing, but yeah, doing the totem afterwards just because you want that better chance to get the Taunt Totem. I agree.
In my opinion, that's pretty good, because you know everyone plays Kor'krons and Axes right now.
Exactly, yeah. So you don't want to give it that vulnerability, but, you know, may not end up being the most important thing. I think in this case, it's very tempting to axe to get rid of that. The Kor'kron is tempting as well, too, because you can kill it without taking any damage on it.
If you axe me, you do both. It's...
Oh, yeah, he does have enough mana.
Yeah. Like,
and
Or, well, he wants to save the Kor'kron for removal instead, because if you do play that here, you know, Lightning Bolt or, obviously, any axe, like, you know, that axe that's a spell. Oh my god, Rock Biter weapon.
Spell
there you go.
axe, wow. That
spell
axe, that's
axe.
a spell. All right.
He spell axes it, and at 6 mana, of course, the Fire Elemental would
You
go
just
with
got
it
a spell axe, man.
I got a spell axe. Oh my god, so corny.
With the Kor'kron, too, it's like, generally, the later you can play the Kor'kron elites, the better they'll be.
Well, it's a good choice overall now that we talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And it looks like you will play a Defender. This is pretty strong because it's going to kind of use up axe charges and whatnot.
Yeah,
this is one of the reasons why Shaman can actually do quite well.
Yep. Yeah, it gets annoying. You can get overwhelmed really, really quickly as Warrior. So, in this case, you...
I feel like I would axe the Spell Power Totem and play the Gorehowl, I think. You don't normally in a Shaman deck really see Oozes or Harrison, just because it's like a little bit more greedy than you really want to do.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about that really at all. The other thing to consider is that he does still have that Shield Slam, and while you want to save that for something like a Fire Elemental, if he's feeling too threatened, maybe you can use that to like help clear the board completely with Kor'kron, but I do like this best.
I don't think it's quite threatening enough to warrant that. So
just kind of something to think about, but I think this is the most optimal play.
Well, it is the one that he goes for. We'll see what Spo wants to go for here. Looks like he does want to go for the Argent Commander. I think that's a great play.
Yeah, you get rid of all of the armor basically, and you make it tough for them to deal with it. The AoE just not quite as good anymore.
Well, like there is the possibility of Brawl here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't want a double Whirlwind.
No.
That double Whirlwind would suck. A Whirlwind would take the shield off that guy.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to get rid of the other one.
I think maybe you Armorsmith Whirlwind, and then you could also Korkron and Axe to remove the most of it. You take a lot of damage. It depends on how again, you know, it's all about how threatened Theis feels. You know, does he feel threatened enough to get rid of a lot of this stuff right away? Here's where it gets tough in Warrior versus Shaman, because you can expend a lot to remove the board, but if you do, then you're worried about fire elementals coming out and things like that. But then again, if you don't get rid of this, maybe another Flame Tongue Totem comes out. You know, there's a lot of ways of damage a lot of ways they can do a lot of damage with this board, and this situation right here is what really makes Warrior versus Shaman difficult, I think.
Well, yeah, it can be, and the thing is, I'm also a little bit sad because he used the Azure really early on, just to kind of help cycle through his deck and put the threat out there, which isn't necessarily bad.
Except that then you don't
but if
have
you had that now with the
Whirlwind
later, you know, it's really nice because you can kill off the Argus.
All right.
Or Argent, rather.
I do kind of like this play. It gives him some armor back, it clears a lot of the board, and it kind of gives something for Spo to deal with. So, overall, I think I really like that turn. I think that's the safest, most efficient way to use what he had in his hand to clear the most and present the least danger. But there's another Fire Elemental. All right.
Well, he can definitely Fire Elemental this 4-1, or he could use his Axe. You know, going down to 20 health is not really that bad.
I like
the Fire Elemental.
I do kind of like running the Commander into the 1/4 to get rid of that, and then Fire Elementaling the Korkron.
Oh, looks like he wants to maybe Fire Elemental that. Oh, okay, this keeps a shield.
Too. Yeah.
This keeps a shield and gets rid of any armor potential. So, like, he's just going to Axe the other guy. This is actually a very nice move.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah. Very nice.
So, pretty solid here by Spo. Really has dominating board position.
Yeah, really, really well played turn for Spo. Cruel Taskmaster, well... do you Cruel and then...
Cruel Big Game?
Yeah, you could Cruel Big Game the Fire Elemental.
Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad, but then you have to get rid of the other guy. And you don't want to have to really use Whirlwind plus Shield Slam, or I guess you could do like a Whirlwind and attack.
I think
you could always just leave out your Cruel and hope that you can hit him with that. I don't know.
You know, here's the thing is you could also Brawl, too. You could also Brawl to get rid of one of those two, because there's not a really... I mean... You want to... using Brawl on 2 minions is always really awkward, and nobody really ever does it, but it's something I think that should be considered.
Well, it looks like he is going to go ahead and probably Shield Slam. Oh, no, he's just going to attack him. That's actually not as you don't need to use that Shield Slam quite yet.
He doesn't have a ton of health yet, but the fact that he got rid of a Fire Elemental and the Commander that turn means that he shouldn't be too worried about any sort of burst, and if the Fire Elemental gets played this turn, he knows he can deal with it, so...
and in fact, the kill cards for Spo are getting down a little bit.
I was going to say, yeah, that turn actually, and then once he deals with this last Fire Elemental that comes out, that should be about it, and then this should be able to finish the game eventually.
Dealing with this next one could be a little bit difficult, though. You know, he's getting a little bit lower in life. Does he really want to use the Axe? Does he use the Shield Slam plus the minion? We'll see in a moment here.
Yeah, well, let's see. Gets rid of that, obviously. Makes sense. Totem comes out. Good thing that wasn't a taunt totem. That gives Theis
if that was a taunt totem, that'd be painful.
Oh, okay. Well, there's... Alright, let's see. So...
Hey, yeah, that's pretty good.
Slam, armor up, shield slam. Yeah, you get to draw a card, and then you get rid of it. You can also clear the totem with your 2/2.
Yeah, it seems really like a strong turn right there. Yeah. You save some... you save your Gore Health for some other... maybe taunts down the line.
Oh,
maybe
nice.
A Feral Spirit.
And there's that Whirlwind with Garrosh. That's going to be nice to have later in the game, probably.
Oh, certainly. And in fact, that brings him pretty close to lethal then.
Look at that. Alright, he's just going to go ahead and attack.
Bravery.
I think, again, you know, seeing that Fire Elemental out there, he's like, alright, that's both of them. You probably just don't have any big creatures left in your deck. You know, maybe Alec here, but...
That means, like, we know that he has one more Argent Commander, and he has... I guess he has Azures, right? Yeah, well, there's one of the Azures. So, still a few minions that have to be dealt with, but not really all that scary.
Yeah. It's getting, you know, there's not a whole lot more damage that Theis needs to do to be able to strike a killing blow to Spo, too. Now, this turn, a lot of stuff out there. Oh, nice. Azure. Oh, you can't. Okay,
well,
so...
you can... Oh.
Here's... Do you really want to use a charge on Gorehal to clear the Taunt Totem? You know, and then you just run your 2/2 into the 4/4, and then you Azure Whirlwind. Like, I mean, that's... It's a way to clear the board. I don't know, maybe you just Brawl here, actually.
Brawl, you say?
Maybe you do. Then again, maybe you just armor up and shield slam the 4/4 and run your 2/2 into the 1/1.
Yeah, the thing is, he has only one cruel left to proc the Gromash if he uses the Whirlwind.
Yeah,
I don't know if I like that so much.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's gonna do it.
Is he gonna do it? Yeah.
He has one cruel left in the deck.
Yes, I believe that's right. I actually, I don't like this play as much. I'm
just a little bit afraid about proccing this correctly, but
I wonder. I just want to know what he's saving Shield Slam for. But
you know what?
I guess maybe the Unbound.
Yeah, I mean the Shield Slam definitely can still do a little bit for him, and you know what? He could actually Shield Slam the Gromash next turn and win. So actually, he's set up. Leaf, I believe,
yeah.
Right? Wait, how many charges? Only 3 left on the axe, so that's
7
17.
plus. Yeah, he's only got 17. No, it's not lethal yet.
Well, now it's
Don't be
not.
silly. Yeah.
No, I mean something silly sometimes.
I think we're all prone to that from time to time. Okay, well he's going to be able to Shield Slam the Unbound at least.
Okay.
Yeah, can still handle it.
I mean, this is... Oh, he's going to take a lot of damage next turn. Do you go like Alex Straza?
No, I don't think so, man. I think you armor up and you Shield Slam the Unbound, and then you only have to worry about 2 incoming, yeah.
I'm so silly. Well, you would kill that as well with your 3 attack Gorhal. Like,
oh,
you're
yeah,
not gonna get a better deal out of that. And in fact, now that it's going down to 2 attack, I guess you can leave it on 2 attack for 1 attack turn so that you can kill a totem.
Yep, that's right.
Because I was going to say play the Fiery War Axe, but actually no, leave it for 1 totem kill.
You never know when you need it to take out that Taunt Totem. That's the biggest threat for Warriors trying to finish the game is that stupid Taunt Totem that comes like 4 times in a row and you're like, I hate my life.
Indeed. Well, you know what? I do want to say he's killed 5 minions so far with this Goral. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of use out of it. Alright, I think now you, Alex Straza.
Yeah. Like, sometimes it's good to save it to heal yourself, but in this case, he may as well deal that little bit of extra.
There's really not a whole lot you should be worried about. I mean,
he might even go to base. Like, you know, he has the Fiery War Axe, so that's something that 2 Fire War Axe hits plus the Gromash being procced actually kills him. And I don't believe there's any life gain. Like, there were no Earthen Rings in there, I don't believe, so.
I can't remember. I don't think so. Yeah. There, Tice is like, well, alright, cool, thanks for the taunt, man. I don't need to worry about bursts now at all.
Of course, that Mana Tide comes down, going to be able to start drawing some cards.
Yep. So what will he draw? Okay, he gets a second Argent Commander. The Mana Tide Totem, of course, is going to die to the Fiery War Axe. Yeah, Fiery War Axe.
Oh.
Yep.
You know what he could do?
Or
is he could attack that for 1 and
okay. Wow, getting right down to the last point of damage. Often you see that.
That's a pretty sick Gorhal. You know, it doesn't even go away when it's 0.
I know, right? It just stays so with you. It's the coolest axe in all of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I love Gorhal.
It's so dull you can't even hurt anything. You could hit a bunny with it and it wouldn't die.
It becomes a club. It's still useful. But yeah, I think you do this and then you Acolyte Baron
It's like a walking stick, I believe, at a 0/1.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like it's this thing you carry with you, but what is it?
The staff. And he does an Acolyte. Okay, so not going for the 2-card draw to that.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what else to say that for, but...
Exactly. I feel like you might as well Acolyte. You're going to get 2 cards out of it.
I think he's just worried about getting too low on health. He's just trying to armor up every turn possible, maybe. But
yeah, I can see that.
I wouldn't have minded the Acolyte play.
Yeah, honestly I'm not familiar enough with 1-turn burst to do the math on that. And here we're going to see that burst, and that's going to be 12 damage. And he's going to, well, it's going to be 6 because he's going to kill the Baron Geddon, of course. Not going to win Fury. Okay.
Okay, so do you brawl here, I guess, is one of the questions. Of course, you do have Korkron and the Fiery War Axe, so you definitely can remove quite a bit.
I like the brawl. I mean, you're not really going to have a lot of other opportunities to use it, although he hasn't really seen Feral Spirits this game, so maybe...
I feel like that's what he's saving it for.
Yeah, you do have to save the brawl in that case. But I guess without that, the
thing is, there's 2 high-quality cards in there, and that is the second Argent Commander.
Rolling the dice. Okay, the Flame Tongue Totem is going to survive.
Oh, that's totally fine.
Yep.
Just Fiery War Axe, I know.
Exactly.
And that leaves him with, if he draws a proc, he has lethal. So we're getting into that stage of the game. Looking at how many cards are left in the deck, just making sure.
Yep, and there you go. Doesn't really need the armor with that. I don't think he's too concerned about like a Leroy Rockbite or Wind Fury or something like that. So, and that was the second Argent Commander too. So literally Leroy is like the only thing now besides Alakir, and then a crazy combo with that. There we go. So of course the Brawl's played. So of course the Feral Spirits. He gets double Feral Spirits. That's going to be extremely annoying, actually, for Tice to deal with. That's extremely annoying to deal with.
He can get rid of 2 of them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's really the only choice he has here. Attack with this little Acolyte first.
Yeah, you run into one first.
That's what you get.
Harrison Jones.
Yeah, not useful.
All right.
He already used the only weapon in his deck.
Yeah, all right.
Just a 5/4. But I mean, I think I would play Corcoran here. There's so few cards left in hand. Like, I guess if there's an Earthshock, you're a little bit sad, but it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm. I would maybe even consider playing the other Acolyte too.
Yeah, I think so.
You're gonna be able to armor up either way.
You want to draw as many cards as possible right now. You need to cycle through your deck. Oh my god.
Okay, well this is.
I don't really like that so much.
He's hoping that there's no hex, because if there's no hex, it's a good way to trade for these tokens. But if there is a hex, which unfortunately for Theis there is, you just lose Gromash.
He doesn't even have a way to remove it all. Like, I actually really don't like that. I think that Gromash you have to really save for lethal. I feel like that's
think so too.
Every time that you use your Gromash, you're having the chance of you just can't kill your opponent.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Harrison Jones, which is a 5/4.
Were we wrong? He actually might have used both. Now that I'm saying that, I realize he may have used both of his Cruel Taskmasters. I might have forgotten that.
I feel like he only used one Cruel Taskmaster, but he did use both Whirlwinds. Yeah, I don't think he used both Cruel Taskmasters yet.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see, because he's going to draw his whole deck before he dies.
Pretty much, yep.
Alright, so the Hex does come down, of
course,
and that's really, really painful, of course.
Yeah.
Theis with not a lot of damage left in his whole deck, it seems.
That Healing Totem is pretty sick. Okay, well, there we go. A little bit of armor can be gained by going Armor Smith into Corcoran. And
you know what?
You have to.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
I think you have to play your Harrison Jones, because if he plays a Doomhammer, you can't play it, or you'll kill yourself with fatigue off of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
You don't get that situation all that often, but I think we've reached it.
Something to think about.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, Acolyte even is a little bit scary here. Like, you're getting so close to fatigue.
Yeah, you are. That's a good point.
Like, do you armor up? Do you play an Acolyte?
I
guess you play the Acolyte.
I would still go with the Acolyte.
Yeah, I think so. You just have to have anything out there as possible.
The thing is he's got Ragnaros in his deck yet, so if Ragnaros comes out, that's going to be, like, even with all the totems, that's going to be your best bet after both hexes have been used. So getting to that Ragnaros quicker, you can still armor up each turn, which actually staves off a lot of worry from fatigue. And he's going to lose probably...
Let's see.
Does he lose everything? He gains a lot of armor, which is actually really good.
Yeah, he keeps one minion alive, which is, I guess, in a way nice. But it's going to die off.
Almost anything. Wow, that execute with the Armor Smith is, well, actually, it's quite good, because you can get rid of the last Taunting Totem. Yeah, so that execute is actually a great draw. Oh, there's another one. Okay, well,
both executes left.
He knew they were both around, yeah.
All right, well, I guess this is where you play your Harrison, and I guess he has 2 cards left in deck now. And we'll see if he has that last Cruel Taskmaster, because if he doesn't, the Gromash was a good play, and if he does, then it's like, oh, oops. Like,
I think the Gromash, even if he does have the Cruel Taskmaster, I think that's still an okay play, because he was trying to force a big trade if there wasn't Hex. And so I think at that point in the game, it's an okay calculated risk.
I think that basically the Corcoran would have done almost the exact same thing.
I would have preferred the Corcoran, but
by the way,
can't fault the guy for rolling the dice, I guess.
By the way, this exact situation is exactly why this matchup can be hard.
Yes.
Because at this point,
there are many
he
situations.
Can now roll this Taunt Totem every turn against small or big minions.
This is why you got to give the edge to Shaman, because there's just a lot of the ways for Warrior to deal with an established Shaman board are so few and far between. You need such specific combos.
Looks like he will take this out.
Yeah, wow.
Which means he won't necessarily roll that totem every time.
And
I think he might be dying.
I think you got to do it.
Okay, he didn't have it. Yeah. He didn't have it.
Oh, he didn't. Okay, all right.
Okay, so now he needs 2 lucky hits with Ragnaros, which, I mean, it could happen.
You never know, man.
Spo used both of his.
I don't think that Spo can get rid of Ragnaros. He's got the
what cards are left
bolt.
in his deck, right? That does 4 damage.
4 damage from the Ragnaros. Does he have another
this is
lightning
such
bolt?
a weird game, though. Oh my god.
I know, this is one of the craziest games I've ever seen.
Let's see if this goes to Spo's face.
Hello, it's
There's
Ragnaros.
definitely a chance.
20% chance. And up. All right. This is going to be
a funny
crazy game.
Okay, so
here's the thing. Even if he removes Ragnaros, does Spo have, which he will this turn,
double lightning bolt.
Does Spo have enough damage to prevent Theis from just living long enough with armor through the fatigue?
I'm trying to figure out what cards are left in Spo's deck. Does he use Wind Fury on the 1/1 Totem?
I don't know, man. I think you have to. I think you have to eventually.
I think there's another minion in here.
I think he's got a second Unbound.
Does he have another Azure? I thought he played.
Maybe.
Oh god,
He's probably got like 3 or 4.
It's hard to keep track of these cards. I have to say.
He's probably got like 3 or 4 cards left. Like, there's nothing Tice can do. He just has to hope to win from fatigue. Like, Tice is gonna probably lose.
Yeah, as soon as he sees a minion, he'll GG. Okay, yeah, there it is. I thought he had one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is that, and we're gonna have to see a GG. Oh, Rock Butter Wind Fury. That's actually like game next turn, basically.
Yeah, it is.
And, I think he's counting it up right now, but realizing that he is dead.
It's always fun to have these fatigue games. I won a Warrior versus Warrior the other day where I killed a guy with 6 fatigue. It does pretty insane. But yeah, Spo definitely has this one wrapped up. And this is actually how a lot of Shaman versus Warrior ends up going.
And he's actually saving the Wind Fury Rock Fighter, realizing he doesn't even have to show this. Yeah. He hasn't shown Wind Fury, so this is something that Tice may not even prepare for. Really smart move.
Super important. And so it's just kind of waiting for it. There we go. There's a concede. Tice not wanting to drag this one out. And Spo will take the lead 2-1. This one's getting exciting, man. Let's move on to game 4. Well, guys, it is time for game number 4 between Spo and Tice. And Tice has decided to bring out Handlock, of course, one of the most solid decks in all of Hearthstone. Pretty good against Shaman. You need to worry about the Azure Drake getting Earth-shocked once in a while. But it's okay, and I kind of like this version that Tice has put together. He's got Alexstrasza, no Jiraxxus. Generally, you see Alexstrasza and Jiraxxus like taken out and put in as a unit together. But he's just left Alexstrasza in there, and this is, you know, like you and I were talking about before the game, just a way that he can have 2 Owls, 2 Shadow Flames, 2 Hellfires. And it's just really a standard Handlock deck. Not a whole lot else to say about that. Yeah,
it's very powerful, and it definitely has everything it needs to clear the board countless times against this Shaman deck. So
yeah, and the fact that he does have that one Alexstrasza in there, plus the Giants, plus the Twilight Drake, that's a little bit more than the removal of Shaman can oftentimes deal with. So
sometimes,
unless there's like a devastatingly bad early game for Tice, he should be able to handle it.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, I feel like Shaman, it's not the best match, but not the worst matchup against Handlock, because if you do have your Earth Shocks for the Twilights, and you do have your first Hex or 2 on time, then things can definitely go your way. But I could go either way. I have to side just slightly with Tice, though. I do like Handlock against Shaman overall on the Handlock side. So.
I agree. I think it requires a little bit extra bad hand and a little bit extra good hand for Shaman starting off for Warlock to really be at a disadvantage in the matchup. So we'll see what the starting hands look like, and we'll see if Tice can tie up the King of the Hill series, or if Spo will put himself 1 game away from becoming the new champion. Let's get in the game. And here we are in game number 4, Spo versus Tice. And Tice, oh boy.
I think you should mulligan that Go 9-0. That's not really the way to spell Go-Go.
Yeah, I mean, Spo just keeping it mysterious for that starting hand. Oh, there we go, okay.
Oh, well.
Alright. Sure, why not?
Okay, the way he just mulliganed tells us that he thinks he's against Handlock, which is not a bad guess, because Handlock's so good right now.
You don't really see a lot of Zoo in the I Heard You King of the Hill.
Shaman, right? So it's like...
It's been a month or so until since the Zoo decks have really been a thing in Best of Sevens.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious he mulliganed correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Good on Spo. If you're playing the ladder, that's not necessarily how you want to mulligan that hand. Lightning Storm can be pretty darn good against
On the ladder, you always have to assume Zoo, but in a best of 7 like this, against top players, assume Handlock.
Well, Unbound Elemental going to come out quite quickly.
Yeah, okay.
And this is actually already a good start, because he has double Wolves. Like, he can just Wolf next turn.
Yeah.
And then Totem turn after that. He has Taunts out. He has a 3/5. Really it's pretty solid.
Really, really good. And it makes a lot of the early plays for a Tice for Handlock just not that scary.
Now, do you Soulfire this?
I actually kind of like it. I do like the Soulfire. It's
I think
way
it's
too dangerous to let live. Yeah. Okay, plus the Siphon Soul, no big deal.
Yeah, I would say so. It's like, yeah, Siphon Soul is going to be good against Fire Elementals or you know, Argent Commanders, but those things already deal damage to you. It's like,
yeah.
I think that's fine, just because that guy could get out of hand, especially, and as he sees his Feral Wolf, he's going to feel even better than he did.
Yep, he knows he made the right decision. Absolutely. And so, do you play the Twilight Drake, or do you just Hellfire here? I feel like you play the Twilight Drake and just make them deal with it, because you want to save the Hellfire for the second one. You know, the first one, you're like, alright, I can make them deal with it this way if he doesn't have an Earthshock, which Spo, unless he draws one right now, does not.
Yeah.
And does he draw one?
Not. Come on.
No, okay.
So, I mean, he's just going to have to totem up. But, yeah, I mean, the Drake can start removing these, and you're high enough on health, it's actually just fine.
You know, he could actually Flame Tongue and then trade.
Yeah, I suppose he could.
Get rid of the Drake pretty aggressively that way.
4 plus 4, it turns out to be 8, which is more than 7,
and
so you're right about that, Noah.
It's a 1-for-1, yeah. 1 card for 1 card.
Yeah, that's true. Well.
2 Hellfires now in his hand. So he wouldn't really want to do that, I guess.
Well, I mean, you could Hellfire here and go for face, and that deals 7 to your opponent.
Yeah.
Not too bad, but I do like this. He's going to have to start moving these guys, but do you heal the Drake or yourself? Looks like he wants to heal the Drake, and I think that's good.
I do like healing the Drake, yeah.
You don't want him to be able to easily, like, Lightning Bolt plus Wolf it.
Yeah, you want to make it hard for them to take it out, of course. I mean, again, if they don't have an Earthshock, which I think Tice can be pretty sure that there is no Earthshock, because he didn't see it last turn. And then, of course, being lower health always means those Molten Giants are a little bit easier to handle. So what do you do here? 5 mana. You know, it is really dangerous to Unbound into Feral Spirits or something like that, because Hellfire is such a dangerous prospect.
Soulfire as well.
Yeah, that too.
Well, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and probably Totem here as well. Like, he could use the Flame Tongue just to get some additional damage going.
Yeah.
But the Flame Tongue would be killed next turn, you have to assume.
Yeah.
I would vastly prefer that he just goes Totem here.
When you have the choice between using a card in your hand and using your hero power, if it's at all possible, you want to use that hero power.
Yeah. You know, it's nice to get as much mileage out of it as you possibly can. Now, it looks like he is going to go for this.
Interesting. Okay, so he's saying, well, I might as well trade because I might just lose everything next turn to AoE anyway, so I might as well get some value out of this creature.
Yeah, I guess that I like that part. Like, here with the... I guess you have a hard choice with the Twilight, because where do you attack into? Do you take out this Unbound that could be a problem, or do you take out the Totem? And it seems like it's just likely the Totem.
Well, if you attack and then Hellfire, everything will die, but you will have cleared the board anyway. It's tough to say.
Yeah, I think just killing the Totem is probably appropriate here, because that means only 2 damage on board to hurt you with.
All right.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, nice. There's another Twilight Drake. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like this a lot. Yeah, play the Twilight Drake and then attack into the 0/3 Totem. Yeah.
And then, like, you can get a couple gigantic taunts out. And the the thing is, right now he's still hoping to draw an Earthshock.
Yeah.
Now he has to be hoping to draw 2. But you only draw 1 card a turn, Doa, now what?
That's the thing, is like when you play Handlock against Shaman, you have to just sort of almost pretend that their silences don't exist, because if you try to play around Earthshock too much, you're not ever going to be able to establish the board. So, luckily for him, no Earthshock yet for Spo.
I think here you go Totem Defender. Like, I could see you going Feral Spirits and maybe putting on some extra damage with Flame Tongue, but I don't like that as much because you have to be so wary of Soulfires and Hellfires and stuff. Whereas if you go Totem Defender, you're not going to lose nearly as many cards.
Well, he really wants him to use at least 1 Hellfire before the Feral Spirits come out, because... And the tricky part is that the longer you wait to use Feral Spirit, the more likely it is that they're going to have Hellfire in their hand, so... It's
he's
kind of a...
assume there's some board clear in hand.
Yeah.
He has to. There's just too many cards it's gone through. Almost everyone's running like 4 board clears right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, a Shadow Flame obviously on one of those Drakes would do the trick just fine too, so...
Did I call it Soulfire again? Oh god, that's all I do.
Oh, I thought you were talking like actual Soulfire, because Soulfire does do 4 damage, so I mean it would kill that Unbound. So what you were saying wasn't technically incorrect.
I guess so.
It's okay.
I seriously can't for the life of me ever remember the name of that card. In fact, I already forgot it again. I don't know why.
Shadow Flame.
I always play 2 of it in my handlock, too. I don't know why I can't do this.
These things happen. I know.
I'm dumb, I guess. Whatever.
It's okay. Don't beat yourself up. I'm here for you, man. Alright. So what does he do? Feral Spirits. And he's going to do what with that?
Alright, well, he's going to Feral Spirit plus Totem.
Well,
so kind of in between everything there.
Here comes the Hellfire.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yep.
Hellfire, probably kill off that guy as well.
Yeah, I mean, you could silence the 3/5 and then Hellfire and clear the board. You lose your owl, but who
No,
cares?
I think probably just killing with a Drake is better.
All right.
Like I would want to use the owl quite,
You could do that. Here's the thing: is you could Hellfire, you could kill with the Drake, and then you could heal one of your Drakes with the Earthen Ring.
Yeah, and you might want to heal yourself as well. Like you're getting pretty low.
Yeah, that is true.
I guess there's no real lethal come out because he's going to be overloaded, so he doesn't have to worry about dying the next turn. So healing the Drake may in fact be better because then he can just make giant taunts the next turn.
Right, right. I like healing the Drake personally. What's it going to be?
Yeah, well, I mean, Hellfire has to come out.
Yes.
This is too easy a board to figure out.
Oh, he's going to heal himself. Okay.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Ah,
cool.
yeah.
Oh, he
lost
the
defender though. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I still.
Well, that was only a 1 in whatever. Like.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because he needs to put the damage on, and in fact, if you look at this, like 6 out of hand, he has 17 damage for next turn. In fact, no, he has a lethal next turn if there's no taunts.
Oh yeah, he's got Leroy
Straight up
too.
lethal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
well, I guess he wins.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess that's it. All right.
Yeah, Leroy and Hellfire plus that damage should do it, right?
Yep. That's,
okay.
That's 20 damage.
Yep, that's just the danger of this handlock. I mean, there's a lot of dangers in handlock.
There are a lot.
One of many dangers is the fact that you have enormous amounts of burst, and there it is. So Theis tying things up yet again. What a back and forth series. This is awesome. Let's move on to game number 5. Alright guys, here we go. We are all tied up, Theis versus Spo, and this is a pretty awesome series it's shaping up to be. And now, Theis needs to deal with Mother Hiroshio, which is probably one of the best deck names I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
that's a
really, that's a very good deck name,
pretty
I
good.
have to say. And
I like the deck names, yeah.
It's certainly a very good deck as well. You know, it's an aggro hunter, and in my opinion, in 3 deck sets, and especially in 4 deck sets, Rush Hunter is something that should be included, because if you look at it, it can beat Miracle. It can. It won't always, but it definitely can, and I think it's actually even probably a favorable matchup sometimes.
Face Hunter nearly always slaughters handlock too.
Yeah, it normally kills handlock, so I think this is a great choice for Spo to have in here. And of course it picks up wins against everything every now and then.
I want to talk about a few little details for this Hunter deck though. I mean, you have 1 Arcane Shot instead of 2, 1 Stone Dust Tusk Spore instead of 2, but you have interesting little techie things too, like 1 Abusive. You've got 1 Freezing Trap rather than 1 Misdirect, which is something that you don't often see, and 1 Arcane Golem too. So a little bit of the cheaper early game damage stuff traded for a little bit more late game punch. But what do you think about 1 Freezing Trap instead of 1 Misdirect? That's an interesting decision.
I think both are completely fine to use, actually. Like, I guess if you're going to play more minions out onto the board, the Freezing Trap's going to be a little better, because even if you attack the minion, it bounces it to your hand.
Oh, that is a good adjustment, I suppose. Yeah.
And, you know what, going back to your hand in the current metagame can be nice, because Handlock and Miracle Rogue sometimes are at 9 cards.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you make them discard something important, that can be big.
That's true. Well, we will see who takes the lead here. We're all tied up 2-2 right now, but whoever wins this game is going to be 1 game away from being the iHearthU King of the Hill champion. Will it be Spo? Will it be Theis? Let's get into game 5 and find out. Alright, game 5, and either Theis or SPO will take the lead. And, oh, nice, Mountain Giant. That's pretty good, but Theis is actually going to discard it.
I think that discarding, you throw that back against Hunter, just because you're looking more, like, Molten is going to get out actually very quickly, and you're going to have to spend mana early game, or you're just going to die.
That's a good point, that's a good point.
I like it, and I like the hand of Spo, I have to say.
I don't have a lot of handlock versus face hunter experience.
I have a lot.
I know you do. Okay, there's a second Molten Giant, and he gets the Mortal Coil off on the Leper Gnome, so that's a pretty strong start.
Yeah, a good opener, and he has, you know, with double Moltens, plus the Taunt Giver, plus the Life Gainer, plus the Twilight Drake, like, I actually really like Theis' hand. I like his chances in this game. Spo has to be so careful about what life he puts him at.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is it looks like this game there's going to be a double Molten Giant defender turn, and what does Face Hunter do against that? Well, I guess Hunter's Mark is one thing you can do against it. He does have
you might be able to bait that out earlier. So.
Oh, and of course Huffer. You always get Huffer. When you're playing Face Hunter, it's like mandatory. I don't think it's possible to actually roll any of the other.
This is a hard choice here, Doa. Do you coin out the Twilight Drake? You're going to take 4 more damage. But 4 more damage might actually be okay.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
The thing is, oh man, I think you do coin out Twilight Drake.
Yeah.
Either that, or I could see you just straight playing the gain 3 life card. The Virgin Ring.
Maybe,
but,
yeah. I like this.
Okay.
Let's get a Soulfire, and he discards the Defender.
The Soulfire was actually that's one thing I wasn't thinking about him doing too much, just because I was like, you have like real potential to win this with those Moltons. So
that changes everything. The fact that that Defender just got.
Thing is, he has 3 more Taunt Givers in the deck, so as long as he draws one, I mean, he's gonna be not too scared.
But now he's in that situation, the as long as he draws one situation, which is that's pretty risky situation to be in.
Well, let's see how this next draw goes. Oh,
there we go. Okay.
No problem.
All right.
No problem though.
Close call for a second there. But,
all right. So, do you remove the Loot Hoarder, or do you just take damage? Do you draw a card, or do you play your gain 3 life dude?
That's the question.
Thing is, I think he's high enough right now. He can't be afraid of dying at 5 mana for the next turn.
Oh no, I don't think so.
So I don't think he needs to gain the life right now necessarily.
I would even. Oh, what do you think about just attacking the Loot Hoarder and then healing your Drake? Because I don't know if you really want to heal yourself, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to heal myself yet, but I don't think you need to heal the Drake because 6 health or 8 health is like the same for him because they have to use Hunter's Mark.
He's a little bit worried, so he will go ahead and heal himself, I guess.
And I think he's just trying to get up to higher mana overall. Like, he knows that he's not going to give him 0 mana Molten Giants for very long, you know?
Right. I mean, Spo knows what he's doing, too. He's not gonna push Thijs into that exact sweet spot, like around 10 to 12 health.
Yeah, look, he's bringing him down to 16 at 5 mana, so it's like basically perfectly done so far.
Yep, 15 is generally where you want to kind of be at.
Now, I think
if you're playing against Handlock.
Let's see here, like, the maximum damage that could be done on the next turn realistically is probably like a Leroy plus shot, that's 8, 11 maybe, and then yeah, I think that's about as much as it can be done. Because you can't double kill command.
Okay,
so,
no card draw, nothing like that.
Yeah, he's got to be really careful right now. He's getting close to death.
That's right. So, it's going to be, there's the tracking, and we'll see what he draws. He's got that Animal Companion, but if you don't get a good roll with it, it's not going to be too helpful.
Yeah, like if you get Leok, that's kind of sad. But you know what? The thing is, if he gets Huffer and attacks, double Molten Taunt comes down.
I know that's the. Oh, he's gonna go for it. Okay, and there's Huffer. So what do you do?
Boy,
what do you do with this now? Oh man.
Oh boy.
Yeah, City Shot. He's actually just going for it.
Oh my God. Well, he's dead.
The thing is he's got the Hunter's Mark and he's got the Freezing Trap. So what
he does, but like I don't think it even matters. You drop double Molten, you give him both Taunt.
Yep.
And the thing is, if you look at his hand, like now, and you kill the Huffer this turn, you just run your 3/3 into it probably. Because if you look at it right, like he doesn't have his draw engine, he only has 1 Hunter's Mark, so it's not like he cannot kill both Moltens next turn.
Right.
Best he can do, I guess, is like he'll definitely Hunter's Mark 1 and play Explosive Trap.
If he draws another Hunter's Mark or something like that, or I didn't see if he had Deadly Shot. I don't think he has Deadly Shot in this. Maybe one of them, but
I don't think he has Deadly Shot.
No, I don't think so. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so if he draws another Hunter's Mark, this could change. But then again, he doesn't really have any minions.
Hunter's Marks would be perfect. Okay, he's probably gonna go starving into the wolf. I think just because
you have to kind of go for draw.
You have to look at this and be like, oh my God, he could have lethal next turn.
Yeah.
Like, Leroy, Power.
I think he really
Soulfire, right? Like that's 14 plus 10, 14. Yeah, that's.
Well, he
could do 28 next turn kind of easily.
He's got lethal next turn even without the Leroy, I believe.
Does he?
Yeah, with Hellfire. Oh yeah, with Hellfire and Power Overwhelming, he's got more than lethal if nothing dies. Okay.
Okay, so this actually gives lethal to Spo next turn. Because okay, and that's good. He plays both secrets.
Okay.
But yeah, he has lethal next turn because he'll take 2 from the Explosive Trap, and then kill command with the Beast out as well as.
Yep. Hero Power. Yeah, that should do it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So it looks like Spo should just barely be able to pull this one out.
Right. Like if he attacks with the 2/3.
Oh well. Yeah. Okay. That's
right. That sets everything off.
I would say you Power Overwhelming your Molten Giant that has 1 health too, so it doesn't die to Flame Tongue. Yeah. He should still be able to win this. Right?
Oh my God! He just ends turn.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Well, I mean that means he just can't win. Right?
Yeah. Now I think that's basically it.
Well, no. Wait. He's playing the 1 Alex Straza. He could still win.
He could.
But he needs to survive 2 more turns.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, no, he can just kill him the next turn. Like, really
Yeah, well, I
easily.
think Tice can kill him the next turn, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. No, this
yeah,
is
you can
crazy,
get rid
man.
of the traps. And I think he may have even been able to do it this turn. He's just worried about misdirect.
Well, if he has... Okay, Arcane Shot, so...
Because normally you'd see
5,
misdirect.
6, 7... Oh, he does! He has it! Look at that,
Oh,
there you
he's
go.
got enough,
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
Alright,
Yeah.
wow.
Okay, no,
was...
actually, he was always going to kill him because he got the extra skill shot. Yeah, he was going to be able to get him to 1, like...
We're real good guys.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. Arcane Shot seals
there you
the
go.
deal.
Crazy.
That's right, and it looks like Spo will take the lead, 1 game away from the new iHeartView King of the Hill champion. I'm done talking, let's move on to the next game. Alright guys, going into game number 6, but it's a game number 6 with Spo in the lead, and it really should be Tice. Tice could have actually won that,
He did actually have lethal there, as we were talking about. Like, it all kind of happened fast, and ideas were racing.
Well, like I said, yeah, I mean, you go power overwhelming on the Molten Giant with 1 health, and then attack with the 2 lesser minions, and there's and with Hellfire in your hand.
3, and it actually procs, like, any secret that is there, you can go through them. Like, this stops nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because he played... Wait a minute. If he played... Hold on. If he played Freezing Trap first, and then Explosive Trap... Wait, no, that still doesn't change. It doesn't change anything.
It's because of Hellfire in the hand, yeah.
I guess if he had played Misdirection first, and it misdirected into the Drake and Explosive Trap... Nope, that's still lethal. Like, he had lethal there if he
22
played
plus
the
Hellfire.
power overwhelming.
Because you've got 20
plus, he had 23 health, right? So
yeah, 23 health. So
dead.
it would have been 20 from the Giants plus 3 for the Hellfire. So no matter what, that was lethal for Tice. Yeah.
So that's a pretty big mistake, to be honest.
Well, it cost him a game. It doesn't get much bigger than that.
No, it's certainly.
If Spo wins this next game too, it may cost him the entire series. Now Tice has decided to bring out what looks like. Let's see, we didn't even look at the deck before we started. This looks like a kind of a ramp druid.
He's got the wild growth.
Yeah. What else do we have here?
I mean, he's got, well, it's not too rampy, but you know, it's got the wild growth in, which is super popular at the moment.
The Ascension Shieldmaster's in there too. Interesting.
Yeah, he's got the Chillwind Yetis.
1 Argent.
It's a little bit lower on mana curve than some of the popular ramp decks that have like
comes at you a little bit
Ancient
quicker.
Wars and stuff, but. It's a good Druid deck, man. Druid's a good deck. So
Druid is a good deck. Yes, that's put that one in quotes. All right. Well, guys, we will see if Spo can take the series 4-2, or if Tice will tie it up again and have a chance to redeem himself and become the iHeartView King of the Hill champion 3 times in a row. Something again that has only been done 3 times before this. Maybe will happen. So we'll see. Let's get into game number 6. See who takes it. Alright guys, here we go in this crazy series between Spo and Tice. A chance for Spo to knock Tice off of his King of the Hill championship seat, and a chance for Tice to tie it up, force a game 7. Interesting first hand for Tice. Without the coin, not quite as good, but...
At least he has an Innervate, that's
nice. Oh,
nice.
okay. So do you think you just Innervate out the Harvest Golem here? I feel like you kind of do.
Well, the thing is, if you don't Innervate it out, then what do you do on turn 3? Do you play it or do you Innervate out the other guy? So yeah, I would say so. For Spo, not a terrible hand. Like, Freezing Trap, for instance, can be very good against anything that gets innervated out, for sure.
Much.
It's like the reverse innervate. Put it back in your hand, it costs 2 more.
It kind of is. Yeah, it is kind of the reverse innervate, isn't it? Yeah. Weirdly enough, that's a good way to describe it. Huh, so what do you do here? Do you just,
I think he's considering cycling the Flare.
Yeah.
Obviously not going to play Hunter's Mark.
No, I don't think so, yeah.
Okay, so...
I think Flare is okay, but...
He's actually going to go ahead and play it right out. And of course, we're going to see this Harvest Golem go directly into that.
Yeah, well, Tice is like, what in the world? Well, that's not going to be Explosive Trap.
Yeah. The odds of this Harvest Golem being played again, I would say, are very, very low.
And now Tice knows that there's a Freezing Trap in this deck. He had no idea up until this point, and that's kind of a big revelation for him, too, because I think...
He's going through it, he's like...
I think
well,
that's I think the mistake that was made last game by Tice was made a lot on the feeling that was maybe misdirect instead of Freezing Trap.
It was still lethal.
It would have been lethal either way, but yeah, trying to get into the mindset of what Tice might have been thinking. But either way.
Anyways, I mean, you know, Spo does get rid of that Harvest Golem. I doubt that we're going to see him played again.
Oh,
he's just too expensive.
Not the best draws for Tice here this game. A lot of expensive stuff.
pretty darn slow hand, but
Yeah.
you know, if he gets this late into the game without being too far behind, you know, 4/6 taunts can be hard to deal with. You have to use Hunter's Mark generally.
Spo did not get the most aggressive starting hand too, so a lot of the early damage that you would be doing as Hunter just isn't there.
Well, now your favorite card in the whole world, Leper Gnome, does come out. And, of course, a steady shot to the face here.
Makes me feel icky in a good way. There's a Mark of the Wild, alright.
Alright, well that's obviously a very strong draw. He has a lot of taunting action that's going to be coming out. And again, without the super fast start from Spo, it looks like he's going to be able to get into all his taunts really easily. Like,
I guess so, yeah.
We're going to see a turn 5 taunt, a turn 6 taunt, turn 7 we could see a taunt, but probably not.
Well, turn 7 maybe we'll see the Harvest Golem Mark of the Wild.
Yeah, that's how we could see a taunt. But
weirdly enough. Oh, okay, so he's going to flare into the bow.
Oh, that's good. You know, bow obviously a very large amount of damage output, especially with the traps. He's already used one of his traps, only 2 left.
Flare into the Bow is the name of my Deep House album that I released a couple years ago.
Flare into the Bow. Oh my god, you're so funny.
It's like my secret life as a DJ, nobody knows.
Well, it looks like he doesn't want to play taunts. He just wants to get some damage on you. He realizes that this is a slow start from Spo, and that Spo is actually going to have to probably go on the defensive here.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Thijs can kind of do what you normally do a lot in Druid, which is eventually you take the aggressive stance, but a little bit weird, a little bit early to do it in this game. But hey, you take what you get, right?
Yeah, well, we are going to see the explosive trap come down. This is actually a pretty nice situation for him because...
and there's a Hunter's Mark too.
You're going to have... This is so obvious what this is.
Yep.
Here's the funny thing. He can actually Mark of the Wild that and make it live. Holy crap.
Yeah. It is a little bit awkward, isn't it?
And then, well, we'll see probably the Buzzard into Stone Tusk Border take it out if he does that. But
totally faceless it right now and then attack, yeah. Best play
The thing
ever.
is, I actually like this much more.
He's going to get rid of the trap, and then he can play Cairn. Cairn with Mark of the Wild next turn is going to be so threatening.
Don't forget, though, this gives a charge to the bow. That's a lot more damage incoming.
Yeah, it's...
So his life is getting a little bit low, for sure, especially with the kill command in hand.
It's really scary to give charges back to that bow. Like, I mean, you have to... A lot of times you have to really try not to do that. But we'll see. Again, he's got so much taunt coming out. Then again, 13 health. Ooh, the direct damage.
Low, man.
The direct damage potential is really scary.
Oh my god, double huge taunt Karns. Oh my god, ew. Oh, it's so big.
Okay, so it has to be direct damage now. I mean, it's down to the wire for Spo. He needs to do lots of direct damage. He needs to hero power every turn. I think we're going to see... Okay, so we're going to see the kill command come out with something.
I mean...
I feel like you have to try to draw into more direct damage.
Buzzard. Thing is, he can't go kill command plus unleash.
Actually, Thijs just wins because next turn with Force of Nature, Thijs should be able to win it.
I would say so.
Oh, yeah,
because he's going to have 2 minions out, so it looks like, yeah, you're right. Thijs is going to be able to do it. I tell you, that Mark of the Wild faceless on turn 7 is like the sickest.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so he's going to try to clear some of these out. Maybe he can clear out enough damage to live, but it's gonna be pretty tough.
There's no way this isn't happening.
Yep.
Looks like Thijs is gonna easily crush through here. It's kind of a slow start for Spo, but you know this happens sometimes. You know, aggro hunter decks, if they do run into a druid that gets a reasonable draw, it's one of the toughest matchups for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, what do you do against double Mark of the Wild Cairn Bloodhoof?
That is about the scariest board that you could ever imagine.
That is a GG moment right there. Yep. Okay, so he's got the boar. You know, I guess he's going to be able to kill one of these Cairns, sort of, like kill the first half of it, but he's going to be dead either way.
Well, I mean, he has to hit it with his face.
I know, yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Best he could do. Yep.
Oh man.
He's like, well, I guess I'll just take it. No, he's not gonna. Right.
Nothing here matters. He's dead.
There's no explosive trap. Yep, there we go.
Right.
GG.
Whoa, does that mean Game 7?
It does mean Game 7. I love it when we go to Game 7, and it looks like we will. Thijs versus Spo fighting it out. In the final spot, and the Manor Wolf kill. What a jerk.
Wolf kill. What a move.
Oh, well. Well, he's obviously not Team Jacob. It's time to move on to game number 7. Whoa, guys, we are all tied up 3-3 Spo versus Thijs, and it is Ramp Druid versus sort of Ramp Druid with the combo involved. So this is a really interesting matchup to actually look at here, because if we get to the late game and things are evenish, Spo's going to have the edge, because he's just going to have bigger stuff.
I do have to agree on that.
Thijs has a combo, though.
He does have the combo, and also Spo has Black Knight, Thijs does not.
Yeah.
So definitely some issues in there.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta give a little bit of an edge to Spo deck versus deck.
Yeah. But you know what? The thing is, even though overall you look at it and it's like, okay, I think Spo out of 100 games wins more.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes down to the early draws. Like, does someone get an Innervate versus non-Innervate? Does someone get Wild Growth versus no Wild Growth? That can make a difference.
It's really, really even. And I mean, in these mirror matchups, you know it's probably going to be pretty one-sided too. Usually whoever gets that first little edge can kind of carry it through. But it's going to depend a lot on the card draws. So I think once we see the opening hands, we'll have a lot of questions.
We'll have a better idea, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's time, guys. Game number 7. Will Spo take it, become the new iHeartU King of the Hill champion, or will Thijs do something that only 3 players before have done and win 3 in a row on the iHeartU King of the Hill? Let's get into the final game, see what happens. And here we go, guys, in what will definitely be an epic game number 7 between Spo and Thijs. Druid versus Druid. Spo with the classic big beefy Ramp Druid, and Thijs with Ramp Druid that's a little bit more nimble, a little bit more agile with the Force of Nature Savage Roar combo. What do you think about these opening hands? They both got an Innervate. How about
they
that?
both have Innervate, but we do have that Wild Growth for Thijs, so that's really nice.
Really, really nice.
It's nice for Thijs.
Nice for Thijs.
But the Swipe and the Savage Roar seem to be like not the most useful stuff in the whole world. Now, he actually coins out that Wild Growth, and I like that because he has that turn 3 Harvest Golem.
Me too, yeah. Then
or if he draws a lot of other spells, he can do the Innervate with it, or the other minions, obviously.
Totally. I think that's definitely the way you play it, because it gives you a good hand no matter what. You know, you're going to have a good turn 3 no matter what you draw.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a great play. And Spo has to look at this and say, okay, he either has a Harvest Golem, you know, that's the only 3-drop that you would really imagine, or he has Innervate plus like a Druid of the Claw. That's the only reason he would coin that out.
Well, you know, a lot of people Wild Growth with the coin anyway, just to get a fast start with Ramp, I suppose. But, oh, okay. Well, this is interesting. I think you still play the Harvest Golem here, though. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you could Hero Power with the Innervate too, I guess. But
I don't like that.
You want to save it for that Ancient of Lore that you just drew. So
the thing is, this leaves you open with a possible swipe next turn, possible Hero Power plus something else, and then the turn after that, you can go for your. Wow, I guess.
Oh, okay, he's just going to Hero Power. No, I actually am not a big fan of that, because I think in this particular matchup, getting early board presence is just key. It's paramount, you know? And now, when is he gonna play the Harvest Golem now? It's going to be kind of awkward, really, no matter where it fits in. And now,
on turn 3?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Harvest Golem now. He gets it out 1 turn later than his opponent, so now Thijs has kind of put himself on the defensive a little bit.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure why. I guess, like, no, because his opponent was at 3 mana next turn, so I really would have preferred the Harvest Golem, because this turn he could have Hero Powered and taken out the other one and gotten some damage on, so I don't know, I would have played it a bit different, but we'll see what he does with this.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really ask the players what they were thinking too much, like, right now, so better to just kind of wait and see what happens.
And so it looks like he may be just getting rid of this Harvest Golem between a Wrath and a Hero Power.
Yeah.
Of course, Spo's hand, we've been looking at Thijs's a lot, but Spo's hand is filled out a little bit. Next turn, he can Innervate out Ancient of Lore. Of course, I think that's what we're going to see from Thijs already. And
if you've got an Innervate in Ancient of Lore, you usually save it to do that.
The Ancient of Lore battles, man, they are real in Druid vs. Druid.
The Ancient of Lore war.
Whoever stops first loses.
For sure.
Alright. I mean, this looks pretty obvious here to Innervate that out.
You could always do a turn 6 Ragnaros too, but no, this is not YOLO ladder. This is a serious best of 7. This is game 7, man.
Well, now he can still turn 6 Rag if he wants. So.
Oh, that's true. I guess you can. Never mind. It's fine.
Pretty solid stuff. Alright, so here comes his own Ancient of Lore.
Yep, Lore War.
Doubt he's going to gain the health with that one.
That's right. There's more lores walking than an entire Lore Walker show family reunion in this game. That was awful. That was so bad. That was like the least funny thing I've ever said in my life. I'm done.
I don't know. I mean, you've said a lot of little funny things.
I didn't ask for your opinion on this.
Oh, okay, sure. Now, we do have the possibility of like a Thalnos swipe.
Yeah?
I don't think I like that so much.
It wouldn't be the best.
The thing is, if you play the Rag, then it might hit Harvest Golem.
It's true.
If you hit the Harvest Golem token with the Rag, you feel bad about it for sure. Also, Faceless Manipulator and Big Game Hunter are real cards that people use. But yeah, this looks the best to me. He gets to clear this board out. He still has a really strong position and really strong cards in hand. Yep. But the same can be said for Spo's hand. Very good as well.
Well, this is going to come down to the wire. This is actually a really close game right now. There's another Druid of the Claw. Definitely a useful card to have.
He doesn't have a really great play this turn, though.
Not particularly.
I don't see anything I'm really a fan of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's too bad that Ancient of Lore has 3, because otherwise you could do like Keeper into Mark of the Wild and you could kill the Lore, but he's got a little bit too much health to do that.
Yeah, nothing here looks that great. Like,
no.
Just the fact that the Ancient of Lore is probably not going to die this turn is quite painful. Like, he could charge a Druid in.
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
I wouldn't want to either.
That does not seem worth it.
Like, you know what? He can actually ping it and then Hero Power into it, and I guess that's actually the best play he has here.
Yeah, you know, he's got enough health, and it looks like he will do that. Yeah, that works. Okay. There you go. Does have to worry a little bit about the powered up Wrath, but I think he should be fine.
Yeah.
It's not so bad if they Wrath your 2/4, honestly.
No, not too bad. In fact, I would prefer that he charges a Druid of the Claw into it.
Yeah.
That's always a good play against a Keeper of the Grove, because you know at 2 health, you can't Wrath it for 1. And
it's
you
awkward
could do that
to get
plus
rid
Hero
of.
Power. Yeah, it is just awkward, so it doesn't even matter really.
Yep. Oh, and he's going to innervate. All right. Yeah, 2 damage to the face.
Wow, he's really going for it now.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot of board presence out here.
I think the reason is because he's got that Savage Roar in his hand. If he draws Force of Nature, he just wins. So.
That is true. Yeah. And at 8 mana, actually, he wins next turn anyways, because he can play a charge Druid of the Claw, but we'll see what Spo can do here.
That's right.
So Spo obviously can play a Druid of the Claw in taunt mode. That's not really that helpful, because he can just kill that off so easily.
It's a tough situation, because if your opponent does have that combo, when it gets like turn 8, turn 9, and all that, you're like, oh boy. If they have any minions really on the board at turn 9, there's so much damage you can do with the Savage Roar or a Force of Nature combo.
That's true. Yeah. All right, so. Oh, okay. So he's just going to remove 2 of these minions out. You realize the Savage Roar is definitely a very dangerous thing that could occur.
I think that's the absolute best thing he could do.
Yeah, it seems so. Because then he still has that 4/2 as well.
Yep, if he can survive until the Scenarios turn, he can be a little bit safer.
I feel like Dice is in a great spot still. Oh, that's
still is,
not a bad draw there.
Yep.
He could definitely play that out. Rag, I think, is not a bad play either.
Yeah, he actually could just trade and then Rag, but he's going to, just get more minions out. Again, I mean, just having the ability to do damage with Savage Roar.
Yeah, he's
finish the game,
fill out his mana as well here. He could have 10 next turn.
He could have done a lot of different things and just still been in a position to end on turn 10.
Looks like Dice is in like a really good position to take this game. At
I would say
health,
so.
Spo is certainly on the ropes.
Yeah. Let's see. So I think you need a big taunt here, but you just don't have enough mana to do it. He's 1 mana short. Well, he's more than 1 mana short.
Well, I mean, he can get like a 4/6. He can Chill Wind and play Mark of the Wild. He can Azure and play Mark of the Wild.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, he may just want to Druid of Claw and Mark of the Wild, because both the Keepers have been played, so it's not going to get silenced, and that would require the most
If a Black
trading.
Knight came out, he would really be sad.
Yeah, but
it
just can't play around it, you know? Oh, he's
Desperate
actually...
Times, Desperate Measures, all that jazz.
It's going to do 6 damage with it. Alright, and there's not a big difference between 6 damage or 6 health and 8 health, rather, in this situation.
Alright, well, he takes out this guy, which means at least this could end up clearing the board for him.
There's a Wrath. Alright, so Tice is probably just going to Wrath and play Rag here. I think that's going to be the safest
Yeah, Wrath
play.
Rag would be pretty strong.
Yeah. Going to do the most damage that way.
Yeah.
And you don't need to worry about getting comboed, really. Because the thing is Tice doesn't really know if Spo has the combo or not.
Yeah, you can't quite tell yet.
Easy turn, plays itself. And
that's
a lot of
so low on health, man. Like, the odds of Spo coming back from here are almost zilch.
Yeah, I would say so. I think
like, he needs a taunt and to kill Rag, basically.
Yeah, and he's got Scenarios this turn. So I feel like you kind of just play Scenarios and cross your fingers.
I think you're absolutely right on that.
Play with the 2 taunts.
Probably don't want to give your minions +2/+2.
It gives more targets for Ragnaros. Yeah, the 2/2 for your minions doesn't really help too much because they are not there. But yeah, all right. So he's gonna kill one of the minions. He could actually. Oh, he just wins because he could. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Savage Roar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just Well, that was very well done by Theis, and it looks like, oh my god, a 3-time King of the Hill.
I know, yeah. Again, only the 4th time this has ever happened, but Theis has played well. He deserves it. GG. What a great series. Alright guys, well that was it. All 7 games. I love it when it comes down to the wire. Really, really cool stuff. Spo just barely getting edged out by Theis. Theis becoming a 3-time IRTU King of the Hill champion.
Pretty sick. Like,
huge, man.
I mean, Theis and Reels, now both players that have 3 wins here at the King of the Hill. And then only Savages and Alchemix have more than that, both at 4. So, you know, that's 4 elite nerds right there.
It's pretty exciting. You know, eventually when we have enough people, we need to have like an iHeartView Champions bracket thing or something. Yeah, it'd be cool. But for another time, maybe. For now, we can just relish in the fact that that was, I think, one of the best series we've ever had.
You know what? I think you're right about that. It was a fantastic series. You know, there was that one miss lethal by Theis, but he ended up winning the series anyways. So.
Makes it exciting, too. I mean, sometimes mistakes can make a series better, you know?
And let's not forget, Spo used a control mage build and actually took a game with it. So this series really had it all. And we didn't see any Miracle Rogue.
Yeah, no Miracle Rogue. Weird. They're all on the ladder. They're all just too busy for the IRTU King of the Hill, I guess. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. It was an awesome episode. Glad to cast it for you, and we will see next week.
Yes.
If Theis can get 4 wins and only become the 3rd person ever to do that, that'd be awesome. I can't wait till next week. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you then.